Frank Lloyd Wright's vision for the modern technological society was a decentralized city whose density was liberated by the automobile, the telephone, mass media, and maybe a couple of flying cars. While society doesn't look like that today, we are still plagued with many of the issues that Wright was trying to grapple with. We've seen many advancements of technology being embedded into the architecture on larger scales, but most of these projects and developments are only accessible towards a certain class of people and larger institutions. Is architecture evolving fast enough to catch up with technology? Let's look at a couple of the leading sustainable residential houses. Waste house. It places emphasis back on the envelope to store energy and act as insulation through its materiality of waste. It's prefabricated and incorporates an open floor plan. S house. The construction relies on locally found materials, palm leaf thatching and bamboo, and it has an open floor plan, which is prefabricated through the use of mass production to aid with cost and quality and ease of construction. They have plans to mass market it to create low-cost permanent homes instead of cheap temporary houses that require high maintenance. Pilot house. Although not as moderate as the previous examples, it truly optimizes architectural features and technological solutions for emotive qualities and efficiency. What has been the most interesting has been the study of how scaled down this technology can be, rather than the antithesis of current trends of massive deployment of technological compensation and outdated system design. Pop-up house. It places emphasis on an airtight insulated thermal envelope, and its easy construction only requires 4 days and a screwdriver. It has an open floor plan. Blooming bamboo. The construction requires locally sourced materials in which the central frame is constructed from bamboo. It can be adapted for the owner's needs, or the system can also be adapted for other programmatic uses besides residential purposes. The home itself can be constructed by the owners, and it incorporates an integrated filtration system. There are plans to mass market it for low-income Vietnamese families. These houses prioritize putting emphasis back onto the envelope, innovation of construction and the design process through prefabrication, and placing less significance on the wall through the use of an open floor plan. Path. Prefabricated accessible technological homes. They're customizable homes with integrated high eco-technology systems. Path and its use of prefabricated elements allows broader access to property ownership, built within 6 months and within a defined budget without any surprise. Personalization of these tech solutions and accessibility of construction equates to accessibility in architecture. Kieran Timberlake works towards these ideals of accessibility and integration of technology. The firm epitomizes the ideals of Frank Lloyd Wright through their design for the integrity of the whole, not just the sum of its parts. Like Banham praised Wright for, they believe environmental features should serve multiple functions to form an ecology of working systems. Loblolly House. Parametric software allows for the perfect fabrication of all the modules, placing 70% of the construction labor into the factories. All of the house's systems were pre-integrated into the floor and ceiling panels, termed smart cartridges, to distribute comfort and energy throughout the house. The structure uses prefabricated technology to be ecologically sensitive, with minimal interruption of the ground and integration of green technologies, such as adjustable shading devices. Use of local materials were selected with renewable resources in mind. Banham's critique of the outer shell of the American home is taken on with Cellophane House. They experiment with the envelope of the house to just be rendered into a cellophane skin, a structural plastic filter. Similarly to the Loblolly House, this project utilized integrated assemblies that allowed for prefabrication of chunks off-site. The frame and skin methodology of this cellophane house allows for a customization and site specificity that most prefabricated homes do not allow for, which was the main critique Wright had with the use of the machine. What is the role of technology in architecture going to look like? Will it enlighten humanity in understanding how to use these technologies to make a building perform, or continue on its path of just fixing humanity's problems through an automated system and concealed expression? If architecture does not evolve fast enough to catch up with technology, it invites its extinction, for the machine was the second Tower of Babel for architecture. These houses, however, bring hope to the future of the home. Prefabrication has redefined the logic of architecture. What was before a system of too many enumerated parts is now able to be consolidated into modules. Prefabrication has eradicated the idea of permanence in architecture, with its values now based in the process of design and construction, and in ideas of reuse, assembly, and disassembly.
This doesn't have to be boring, it can be quite romantic and quite exciting.
The impermanence of architecture allows for a new attitude of plug-and-play accessible by a broader population, because the customization of architecture isn't gatekept anymore by the severity and cost of perpetuity. We can already see the idea of impermanence exhibited through marketplaces, food carts, outdoor dining, even pop-up hospitals. With such deep advancements in technology and a society constantly in flux, it only makes sense that the spaces in which we inhabit have the same level of dynamism. Let's look at Plug-in City. It was a concept introducing an alternative way of putting the city together, where it lifts the city off the ground to enjoy space in a different way. The city is organized by a megastructure, a grid rotated by 45 degrees, in which the craneway at the top controls the built environment through transporting and delivering pieces in addition to goods and materials. There are different programmatic tubes. Pieces have expiration dates. Everything is functional, replaceable, and updated. Residents live in plug-in capsule homes, which are a method for planning a home left to the occupants. Residents can update portions of the home by exchanging outdated chunks and sections for new ones, relying on the idea that each chunk operates with its own mechanical ecosystem. The idea of an individual given the freedom of flexibility to update their environment alludes to the greater ideals of community empowerment, advancements in technology, sustainability, and fluidity of life. Robert Cronenberg, the Roscoe Professor of Architecture at the University of Liverpool, in his lecture on Motopia, which is the idea of mobile architecture, claims that the strategy of temporality adapts to unpredictable demands, provides more for less, and encourages innovation. Just like how the ecology of nature is constantly evolving to adapt to new environments, so should the ecology of architecture. Maybe we should stop looking to create monuments and instead embrace the revolutionary temporary.